Okay, we'll call the meeting to order with a moment of silent reflection. Let us take a moment of silent reflection to contemplate in our own way the responsibility we have to collectively use our skills and experience to ensure the mutual long-term benefit of our municipality and those we represent. I would also like us to take a moment in remembrance for the Broncos, which was a tragedy of all those kids killed in the bus. Yeah. And that keep that in our minds as well. Roll call, please.
Mayor Reed.
Present.
Councilor Chartrand.
Present.
Councilor McKay.
Present.
Councilor Villeneuve.
Present.
Thank you. I ask Councilor McKay if she would recite the mission and vision statements, please.
Certainly. HCM mission, at your service, working effectively to bring together people, partnerships, and potential for a strong, connected community. HCM vision, proving a healthy, connected, is it supposed to be proving?
Providing.
Yeah, mine says proving. Providing a healthy, connected, and sustainable community teeming with possibilities for our citizens now and into the future.
Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Representations, none. Adoptions of minutes of previous meeting. Adoption of the council minutes. Moved by Councilor McKay, seconded by Councilor Chartrand. Subject minutes of the past meetings, regular meeting, Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of Tuesday, March 20th, 2018 be accepted as presented. Any questions?
Number 11, the unfinished business. Whereas there was found to be one conflict of interest, that should be two.
Mayor Reed, that's not a correction to the minutes. That was actually the resolution that was passed. So it remains the way it was, or the way it is. If it was an issue, it should have been corrected before the resolution was passed.
Okay.
And in all fairness, I did send an email to that effect prior to the meeting.
In order to amend a resolution, there needs to be a motion at the table saying to please amend it by striking out a certain section or adding a certain section, and that process was not brought to the table at the last meeting. If council so chooses, we can create a resolution later that does amend it, but we can't just change it now because it was passed the way it is.
Okay, then maybe we can change something later and have it reflect the truth that it was two and not one.
Next meeting.
Thank you. Anything else? All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. the minutes from the Recreation Committee, Wednesday, February 21st, and Wednesday, March 21st. And I guess they didn't forward the Rules Merit report?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Which municipality was it, was that meeting in, Married? I can look it up.
I think I have a copy. I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Bob, they can't hear you. Is yours on?
Hello? Hello?
It's got the green button going.
Hello?
Here, use mine.
Mine works, you can switch it out.
Hello?
Use mine, it works. Nobody really needs to hear what I'm saying. We'll share one.
The phone shouldn't make a difference.
Hello?
There, that's
No.
better.
Petitions and correspondence. Information only, but if there's anything that draws your attention, bring it forward.
I have a few. I'll start with this first one about the bridge in Dervier. I was wondering if we can get a little bit more information about like exactly what that bridge, who uses it. I'm not familiar with it. I'd like to actually go and see it once I can get in there. I'm not sure if you can.
You don't really want to do that.
Legally, you can't get in there.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, well then why do we want to take it over?
So what's happened is the bridge goes from pretty much where the La Croix Park is, and
Okay.
it joins the two islands there. It's all
Oh,
hydro property.
that's the one you can see from the highway.
Yes.
So we don't
Yes.
want to take it
It's
over
OPG,
then?
and we don't.
No.
In my opinion, we don't want it.
No.
And
All
council
that
needs
was
to make
was
that.
the original bridge to get originally the log trucks.
Yeah.
The barge and back and forth.
Okay.
You know where
And
the
then-
barricade is?
Yeah.
Well, the ZEC kept the barge going
It's
for a
been
number of
condemned,
years.
so.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was. I wasn't familiar with the name of that.
No, that's what it is.
So I thought, well, was it something people were using for four-wheeling or what?
No.
No. Okay.
The only thing left out there is there's one old tugboat and the old barge is there, but I think they're still on the other side, I'm not sure.
But if you're not supposed to be out there,
No.
then we don't want anything to do with it.
Well, that's why the barricades were put up. People
Yeah.
were still camping along there.
Okay. My next one was number 5, but does anybody have something before number 5?
Just a reminder for number 4 from the OPP. The law is now that if somebody starts to cross the street, you have to wait till they're on the sidewalk. You don't wait
Yeah.
till your lane's clear. You have to wait till they're clear of the road. Otherwise, it is a fine.
Yeah. Too bad they weren't in Deep River enforcing that.
You said number 5?
Yeah, number 5, I was just reading some of the, some of the things that they were talking about, the off-road vehicles and the number of total of people that died last year and how it's up. So I was just, thinking to myself, it kind of mirrors some of the concerns that we have. So excessive speed and inattention. About that. Does anybody have anything before number 9? So we had talked in the past about the possibility of getting some money for a van. Does that fall under that community transportation grant program? It says that it's to bridge in rural municipalities where they But I'm wondering if what they're thinking of rural is like, oh, the subway doesn't quite reach us,
No.
so we're rural.
This one actually does apply. However, it was the first intake was completed, I believe, in January. And what they were looking for was a community organization who already provides this service and to coordinate and try to expand. So at the end of it, we were thinking it could be something if we joined with Northern through long-term care or the Care For program or the Cancer Society, their driving program, something like that.
Yeah.
But to provide funding for new purchase, new program, that's not what it is. So that's why we didn't pursue it at the time. They could change the requirements for the next intake. We'll certainly watch it.
It's over the next 3 years, 40 million, so. Okay. And number 11, I was wondering about supporting the resolution for municipalities to have some say in where the landfills go, so that, you know, just some consultation before we're told this is where it has to go. So they're looking for some support on their resolution.
So I can prepare a resolution for next council meeting if that's what I hear.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
Be necessary.
The only thing is our next step is we're trucking our garbage someplace else.
Yeah, no, and they're just saying, like, before
Yeah.
they come in and tell you where it has to go, that they consult you about
Where?
where.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely want a landfill, I'm thinking, but.
I think this is more about Toronto trucking their garbage here.
Yeah, so we want to know, we want to have some say on whether that happens or where it goes, kind of thing. It's the way I understood it. That was it for me.
There was a late one as well, huh?
Oh, yeah. See, it's Algonquin Trail one?
I think everybody received that
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
by email.
So that probably deserves some sort of a response from council, because if we look at the report and it talks about the negative response, and this is what the Snowmobile Club is saying, that they haven't been a negative response, do we just take the letter and say, well, thank you very much?
Well, I took it and I read it, and
Yes.
I understand what the message was. We're trying to do our best for an open litigation between both parties, and we'll carry on with it until our stakeholders are done. Moves us to the clerk's report, please.
So since last meeting, a considerable amount of time has been used for the stakeholder meetings, which overall are going very well. We've been hearing from people who are residents and people who are landowners who are not here. As I said before and stated elsewhere, I will compile all of that information and provide a complete report for council later. Number two, I did just today upload the March 20th meeting to YouTube, but I didn't get it finished before this, so I'll advertise that address on Facebook, but you can just search it. We have been successful in obtaining $700 from the Heritage Canada program for Canada Day and $500 for OPG. There's some question here again about the request from the local organizing committee from Pembroke to see if there's any members of council interested in submitting a team. They really would like to see someone from each municipality there. Number 5 is the volunteer schedule for the Council Mother's Day, Father's Day, Canada Day breakfast, and a barbecue at LaCroix Park. Councillor McKay has agreed to take the lead on those events, so if you can help her out in any way, please let us know. Obviously, if we don't get any volunteers, we're going to have to cancel some, or we're going to have to rely on our rec committee volunteers. Municipal elections. We have arranged with Laurentian Hills and Deep River to have a candidate education session on Wednesday, July 4th at the Chalk River Fire Hall. I believe it's going to probably be 7 o'clock, but that still needs to be confirmed. Steve Seller, who was here last week, the week before, from Ministry of Municipal Affairs, he's coming to provide that session to people who are either new to municipal councilors or would like a refresher on what the overall responsibilities are. There is also, as advertised, a session from AMO, which is provided online, and they have advised that I can host that here, meaning that I can purchase one education session and provide it publicly over the projector so that we can host something here as well. So we'll do that closer to the deadline for nominations. Number 7 is interesting. We've received an email from a group of students from Montreal who are planning to build on Terry Fox's Cancer Foundation run. They are leaving, I'm not sure the date, but they expect to be here overnight. I've lost that date as well. In any event, they're looking for accommodation. They've got it planned that they'll be in Stonecliffe, I believe, their 2nd or 3rd night, and I have expressed to them that the least we could do is provide them with space-fitted tents and use of the washrooms here. There is a shower. And I've also suggested that perhaps we could get a few volunteers to make them a hot breakfast. And if we could get maybe somebody with a trailer, a camping trailer that we could bring up for one night to let them stay in, we could do that as well. So we're going to, they've accepted the offer. They said thank you very much, and we'll just now work on making that come to fruition. Thursday, April 26th, so next week, Chris Ray from Expertise from Municipalities will be here to present the Education and Training Day to council members and staff. For those who are able to attend, it's going to be an all-day session. Chris plans to start around 8:30, and then he said, depend on questions, it could be finished 1:32, 3. We will provide a light lunch, and it will be a closed session of council. So the entire meeting will be considered a closed session for education purposes under the Act. For those of you who might be concerned about our current personnel issues, our budget situation, and the legislation responsible, we're still in complete compliance. Budget does not need to be completed until, I believe it's the 1st of July. When I first started here, the budget process didn't even start until sometime late May. So just in case you're hearing some rumbling about where's your budget, we in the past have gotten to the point where it was finished November, December, January, but because of personnel issues, we'll get it done soon. On that note, Peter Harrington, our auditor, who before Noella's hiring used to complete year-end statements and all that type of thing for the municipality, he has agreed to do that for us. So Crystal's handling the day-to-day processing of payroll, accounts receivable, accounts payable, taxation, that sort of thing. She created the financial statements for this meeting, but Peter's going to complete the year end and get us to the position where we can get our budget in the very near future. Stakeholder meetings, I guess I have here again. We have some openings left. We've had some really good responses and some excellent suggestions for moving forward. Number 11, Mel Teal has resigned her position, but she's going to work with us into the future as long as we need her to. But after having said that, it doesn't really make sense now that we have Gail here to do training. We're hoping to have a replacement by May 1st. And that's everything, unless there's some questions.
Treasurer's report, there's none. Mayor's report, other than the fact that I've attended County Council and Health Committee. I did not get to Social Services Committee because of a problem that arose. Administrative Assistant report.
So since my last report to council, I have finished up the new Horizons for Seniors program, including the final reporting. I've worked with Joe Hall to have data call completed. I mailed all the tax bills and processed all payments, including deposits. Number 4, for Noella's duties, I won't go through the list, but if anybody has any questions, I can try and give you an answer. I've been working with Bell and Unisoft to have the VPN router ordered so that Peter can do some of the larger tasks while Noella's away. Contacted Bell because we were having issues with our internet and we ended up having to replace the hub. Number 7, I completed a grant application for Healthy Kids again. This is their last theme, and it was a $6,000 application for kids programming. Scheduled ECA training with Joe Hall again, May 16th. Working with Rec Committee for floats and deposits when Mel is out of the office. Helped with a rec ad for the newsletter. Reviewed job descriptions with the clerk, and then just general office duties in between.
Thank you. Okay, we've got the check on. Moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Be it resolved the check log from January 1st, 2018 to April 12th, 2018 totaling $709,801.44 be accepted as presented. Any questions?
So will there be a detail for what the money was spent for?
Not at this point in time. Noella's not here, and Crystal's doing the best she can by producing those reports. Our obligation is to provide to council at least 4 times a year a listing of disbursements. Anything else is nice to have. We like to be able to provide, but right now we're just not able to do that.
Yeah, this is different from the document that Noella usually
Yes.
hands in because she has the itemized.
She manipulates
Yeah.
it, and but that's beyond our capabilities right now.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'm sure Crystal can answer, because she's created most of those checks.
Just, there's a lot of checks made out to individuals. I was just wondering what that's for.
It's generally reimbursement for materials purchased.
There's a lot on here right now too for grants. So a lot of them are for through grant programming.
To the individuals?
Yes.
Yes, a lot of times, yes. Like, do you have a specific one you're wondering about?
Trudy Miller.
Trudy Miller ordered supplies for a beading workshop for a grant. So a lot of these ones that you'll see are for grants.
The grant.
Okay.
So like they went out and bought supplies for the program that they were
Right.
hosting,
Yes.
and then you reimburse them and you have receipts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the receipts are there, and that's the auditor's job to match the receipts
Yeah,
to the payments.
exactly.
That's not a council job.
No.
And also, though, we've paid some of those people to provide it. So
Yes.
the cost for Trudy is actually, I'm not sure Trudy may not be, but some of the
Yeah,
others,
some of them
they pay
charge,
for the products as well as a per hour or per session as well.
Which is normal.
Yep.
Do you want these back?
Yes,
Then these
please.
ones? Yeah.
And again, all of those programs are under the seniors, the funding received for the seniors grants.
So I'll put the motion on the floor. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 1704-18003, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Be it resolved that the comparative income statement from January 1, 2018 to April 12, 2018 be accepted as presented. Any questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Carried. Moving into bylaws.
Sorry, Mayor Reed, if I could just, I just couldn't find what I was looking for.
Yep.
Further to Councillor Villeneuve's question, if you look back on the bottom of the second page, so account number 619113 on your purple, or 619114, 619115, those are the specific grants that those checks would have fallen under. So the HCC is the Healthy Kids, the next one is the New Horizons for Seniors, and the one under that is the Ontario Senior Community Grant. So all of those individual checks that you were questioning, this is where the amounts follow, show up.
Yep.
And it's all just remuneration for stuff that they purchased?
Either that or the charge that they charge to provide the service. So somebody will come in and do a yoga class, we pay them X number of dollars an hour for the yoga class. Sometimes if it was the stained glass, they would pay for the materials as well as maybe $200 to provide the stained glass course, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution 1704-18004, moved by Councillor Chartrand and seconded by Councillor McKay. Amendment to Municipal Procedure Bylaw. Whereas the timing anomaly has been identified in Council's procedural bylaw, and whereas Council wishes to operate in an open and transparent manner, and whereas constitutes participation in the democratic process is to be encouraged, and whereas Council wishes to enhance that participation, be it hereby resolved that the following changes to the municipalities procedural bylaw 2015-07 presented by deputation at the March 20th, 2018 regular scheduled council meeting be authorized by council, namely that section 12.1 be amended by inserting the bold and underlined section, and number is it as 12-1A, the following sections: 12.1B, 12.1C, and 12.1D, numbered below, to be added as follows. Is there any questions?
The letter from Todd Dowser was not sent to the clerk, I take it?
It's an email. It was just sent to us.
Guess not.
Yeah. No, it was just sent to council.
Any further discussion on that?
No, I feel that the past council had valid reason for having, you know, the package not put online until council had a chance to look it over. I personally would rather know what I'm talking about when people are contacting me. So to have a chance to read it. We're not out of line with any other municipalities. Everybody else has the same time difference between when their deputations need to be in and when their packages are put out online and when their council meetings are. So I think the reasons that you know are valid, and I don't see a reason to change it.
So I think that it's not so much for people calling you at home, questioning you on the agenda. It's having the opportunity to speak to an item that's at council before a vote is taken, so that you're aware of what the taxpayers think.
Well, they aren't shy to send emails about what they think, so I think that covers that. And Melinda's covered why that's not possible. So,
But well, I think it is possible if we voted that way.
yeah. Well, I think that if they're concerned about things, they send emails, they call, they can call. I always read them. I always look through things. So, to me, there's a good reason why I would like to have the package before I start getting the emails. So that was what the previous council had come up with as a reason. So I don't think it needs to change. But we can vote. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I think you still get your package at the same time.
Yeah,
Well,
but
normally when something comes to council, we don't vote yes or no at the meeting when it's first brought up, so usually there's plenty of time. If they want to do a deputation at the next meeting or the one after that, whatever, that's fine, that's democracy, but we can't have our council meetings sabotaged every time somebody doesn't like what's written in the thing or wants something added to the agenda. It's a huge waste of time. That's what we're here for. If that was the case, we might as well just open the township up and have 200 people here and everybody raise their hand and say, okay, yeah, we pass that, or no, we don't pass that. That's what we're here for.
So I don't know that I'd call it sabotage by people.
Well, it gets out
making
of hand. It gets out of control.
Well, how many people do you think you'd have? Anyway, obviously I think that it's a good idea that people have the option to do that. I don't think that, what's the maximum time for deputation? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
10.
So if you had one person or two persons per meeting, that's only an extra 20 minutes, and it allows people an opportunity to be heard. Emails, a lot of them don't make it into the minutes.
They make them in if they're asked to be put in as late correspondence.
Well,
if they don't
yeah,
ask, it doesn't make it in.
So we don't read them and we don't talk about them, right?
That's your job, is to read it.
We read them, and if you want to discuss them, you have the right to bring them up just as we do.
Yes,
So bring them up and we discuss them.
but then it is minuted when the people want to talk.
They can make a deputation at the next council meeting.
Well, if we were voting on it tonight, that wouldn't happen.
We're not, very often are we voting on something the same night that it's brought to our attention. We're usually getting more information, gathering more information, and talking about it, and voting on it the next meeting.
There's always ask for a report to be given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
May Reed, if I could just make a clarification as well. That ability already exists in the current procedure bylaw. If somebody wanted to address council, they simply have to ask council, and by a majority decision, they can do it. That's already there.
Yeah. But it takes a majority of all council at the table in
Yes.
order
Yes.
for that person to speak.
Yes.
Anything else for the matter? That ask for the vote to be called, please. All in favor?
No.
Oh, all in favor, sorry, no.
Opposed?
So
Yes.
this is resolution 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I was confused.
So the resolution is to defeat resolution 1?
If you vote
If
Ye-
you're voting for
for
resolution one, yes.
then you vote yes.
If you're voting
And if
against
you're voting
it, no.
against it, then you're voting no.
So I'm a yes.
Okay.
Councillor Chartrand?
No.
Councillor McKay?
No.
Mayor Reed?
No.
Councillor Villeneuve?
Yes.
The resolution's defeated.
Resolution number 1704-18005. Amendment to Municipal Procedure Bylaw. Whereas the municipal bylaw requires notice of intent to adopt or amend a procedure bylaw by posting on the municipal website 14 days prior to the new bylaw being adopted, whereas municipal procedure bylaw has not been updated since regular council meetings were changed from Friday afternoon till Tuesday evening by resolution in 2017, and whereas some clauses in the bylaw require strengthening, therefore it be resolved that the Council of United Townships of Head, Clara Maria does hereby amend the municipal procedure bylaw 2015-07 by the following. I probably should read all this out.
You don't have to. Our procedure bylaw allows you to just say as read because it's been posted
Okay,
online.
we've all had a chance to go over it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any question? Call the vote. All in favor?
Nope.
Recorded vote, please.
Councillor Chartrand?
Yes.
Councillor McKay?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes?
Councillor Villeneuve?
Nope.
Motion is carried.
Resolution number 1704-18006. Moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Election signage bylaw. Whereas bylaw 2018-06 being a bylaw to regulate the use and placement of signs for election purposes within the geographic area, of the Corporation of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria. Therefore, be resolved that bylaw 2018-06 be read a second time, short and passed. Any questions? And this is pretty close to what's going on with most municipalities,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm in an agreement with Jim's Gibson's letter to council from the 14th. That, why would we want to make another bylaw where somebody's got to go and check to see if the size of his signs are correct or whether he's got too many signs on his property. If somebody has 500 feet of frontage on a municipal road, why can't they have as many signs as they'd like? We have, why do we just keep putting more and more laws and bylaws in where, as Jim says, why would council needlessly create a situation that pits municipal staff against property owners when it comes time to, yeah, your sign is in the wrong place and I'm going to pull it out and charge you $20. I don't expect that, based on the history here, that there's a whole lot of signage goes on. Anyway, I think it's fair to say we haven't had very many elections. I don't want to read Jim Gibson's letter because I'll run out of breath, but I would encourage people to read it.
Okay, is there any actual question to what the letter states, what the resolution states?
Mayor Reed, if I can respond. First of all, the reason this is happening is because there have been changes to the Municipal Elections Act and the third-party advertising. So municipalities are being asked to get out in front of it. Secondly, already in September, we have already had to get between a resident and an issue of signs. And in the past, through a federal election, we have had to remove signs. So this is simply putting the information out in front of people so that when the staff does have to go up and remove a sign, we can say it's in the policy already. Please refer to.
Yes.
And it's not just us, it's provincially
everywhere.
and federally
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that signs are supposed to come down the day before the election. Drive through Deep River.
Yeah.
There's election signs that are still up.
There's still signs laying in the ditch all the way up the highway.
Anyways, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Yes.
No.
Recorded vote, please.
Councillor Chartrand?
Yes.
Councillor McKay?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Councillor Villeneuve?
No.
Resolution is carried.
Resolution 1704-18007, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Integrity Commissioner Appointment Bylaw, whereas Bylaw 2018-08, being a bylaw to establish the Office of Integrity Commissioner and process for hearing complaints regarding elected officials of the Corporation of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria, is presented to council for approval. Therefore, be it resolved, bylaw 2018-08 be read a first time, short and fast, the 17th day of April 2018. Question?
Is the intent of the Integrity Commissioner to be arm's length?
In what respect?
That complaints could go directly to the Integrity Commissioner as opposed to being funneled through the clerk?
That's something that we would have to determine. Council would have to amend its policy.
I think it should be arm's length myself. If you have a question, a complaint, and we have an Integrity Commissioner on whatever you want to call it, we should have the opportunity to send complaints directly to the integrity commissioner as opposed to the integrity commissioner and the chief administrative officer?
Currently, municipal policy stands. Once the integrity commissioner comes on board, he will discuss this and other issues with council, and council may choose to change his policy in the future, but until that time, we follow municipal policy.
Till we have an integrity commissioner and can
Yep.
sit down and make the rules of engagement, so to speak, then we'll know more what's going on.
Yeah, and hopefully he will help to update our policies so that they are more effective, more simple to follow, but that's something that will happen after he's on board. This bylaw, by the way, was created by Chris Ray and his company, not me.
We'll call the question. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Recorded vote, please.
Councilor Chartrand,
Yes.
Councilor McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Reed,
Yes.
Councilor Villeneuve.
No.
Resolution is carried.
Unfinished business. Just an update for the Algonquin Trail. Everybody's received that in their package.
Yes.
I wasn't able to find that meeting, the official plan meeting in Edenville
It was
That's
just
fine.
posted today.
today.
Yep.
Okay.
Resolution 1704-18008, moved by Councillor Chartrand, seconded by Councillor McKay. Office closure, job description and staffing updates, summer student outside rec 2 day a week, office manager position. That's sort of lumping everything into one. Whereas council approved having the municipal office closed Thursdays for each week in 2014, and staff stopped that practice in the spring of 2017. Whereas during the period, staff did not identify any ongoing public concerns, complaints, or inconvenience with this practice. Whereas work demands due to increased workload and staff leave have increased significantly with substantial amount of backlog requiring attention. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council United Townships of Head, Clara Maria does hereby agree to reinstate the office closure policy. And further, that the recreation admin assistant position be increased from 1 day a week to 2. And further, that a new position be created to more accurately reflect the duties and responsibilities of current employees as outlined in the attached job description, leaving the position of receptionist vacant, and to set that position at level 5 of the salary grid. Any questions?
So are we gonna deal with those, there's 3 different things in that first resolution, or is it one package?
The Short answer is yes,
Yes.
but if you required something to be changed, there are resolutions, blank resolutions there, and if a resolution is to be modified, it would need to be voted on through a resolution.
So I would like to vote on each of them individually.
I really don't think that's necessary. We can go through it if you want. As far as resolution 1 with closing on Thursdays again, we all know that we've had problems with our treasurer being sick, and that's by no means her responsibility to be sick. And the backlog, we've got to get the budget done and in place, and I think if it means closing for that date, which we did for a long time in the previous year, I don't see anything wrong with it. As far as resolution 2 goes, we've always had the practice of hiring a summer student, which I understand the federal grants are available, and that person's job description would sort of be split between the office and outside, if I'm correct.
It's mostly outside, but
Yeah.
helping with the recreation hub for the office.
Yeah.
Everything else would be working with Terry.
So Mayor Reed, I think you missed the
Recreation admin
further
assistant.
that and further that on resolution 1.
So the
Corrected.
recreation admin assistant position be increased from 1 day a week to 2.
Yeah,
And I think there's a lot of work there, but also helps to actually have somebody want to come in.
it's helped
Do
to
the
fill
job.
in and get moving ahead again.
Yeah. And then the new position be created to more accurately reflect the duties and responsibilities of current employees. The next one.
And up to the salary grid of the, I guess what they would call livable wage.
So that's like the lowest, level 5 is.
No, what
Oh.
that's actually doing is increasing, because the responsibility is increased. We're moving that position. So right now, office manager isn't even on the grid. So I'm
Okay.
creating a new job, which is, I believe it's 2 levels above the receptionist position. But the work that's being done is so
Oh,
much more than
definitely.
receptionist.
Exactly.
But this is temporary work, right?
No.
The stuff for the financial.
No. So we talked last week about the financial, the extra work that Crystal's doing to help Noella. That's completely different from this. While we were looking at that and looking at job descriptions, I provided you with 2 different copies, and you can see the
Yep.
difference between the 2 job descriptions. So one has significantly more responsibilities, including for emergency management, for waste management, for quite a bit of grant work right now, and what am I missing? There's another one that was updated.
So basically, you're just updating the job descriptions to more accurately reflect
what's
what the
happening.
actual jobs they're doing.
So 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Crystal was hired as a receptionist, and
Yes.
she was to answer phones and to help fill in.
Yeah.
Since then, Gail is retired, so she's assumed Gail's responsibilities. I have spent a year almost not being able to finish my own work because of all of the extras that have fallen on my table. So Crystal has assumed some of that, and because of that, the position that she's doing has changed completely.
Yeah.
When it comes to, and it's more reflective of an office manager.
Yeah.
And that's why I've created that position. So short answer to Councilor Villeneuve's question is, the increase, things like payroll and accounts payable and those things, that will go back to Noella, but that's not reflected in here at all.
No, but in the meantime, some slack's taken up in the office to get things accomplished that aren't being done right now. I mean, yes,
Right.
it's fine that she can pick up the phone and say hello and goodbye, but if she's gonna have the added responsibility,
Right.
Yeah.
then it's incumbent from us to give that back.
Right, and they're two separate issues though. One is a lot of that was already happening before Noella left.
Yes.
And that's why
I mean,
this is here.
it's pretty standard for any company to look at their job descriptions from time to time and update them to reflect what's actually going on in
Right.
the job. So, I mean, that's nothing new.
And as usual, the province continues to download obligations.
Yeah.
Right now, as you saw, I believe it was the last meeting or the meeting before, was the directives from the fire marshal's office. So now, not only do we have to provide the requirements under the fire marshal's office, they want us to actually take the time and create records of it and policies, and
Yeah.
that takes time. We're already have a full plate, so where does that come from? And that's one of the things that's reflected in the 2-day-a-week position. So we're having to hire somebody to fill that, so now would be a good time, so that the new person we could attract by saying you're gonna at least get 2 full days a week.
Yeah.
So we did do a retroactive and a bump in November or December.
That's correct, so that was retroactive to January of 2017. We're now looking forward.
Yeah.
What's the difference between manages the administration of the office and oversees the day-to-day management of the office? So one is from your job description and one is from the new position for office manager.
My job description?
No, I think that the two job description was, one was before and one's after.
No,
Is that?
this is for the job description for the CAO clerk.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one.
No, it's because I didn't provide it.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
And the
There
emerging,
technically isn't a difference, but as I just explained, because I've been spending so much time dealing with other issues, such as code of conduct complaints, harassment complaints, different trainings for council, I haven't had time to do those things, and Crystal has assumed that over the last 14, 15 months.
so there is a shedding of some of your duties as well.
All right, we're gonna stop that right there. We're not gonna get this personal, as much as you're trying to make it personal.
I take offense to
Well,
that.
we'll take a vote on it. All in favor?
Yes.
Councillor Chartrand,
Yes.
Councillor McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Reed,
Yes.
Councillor Villeneuve.
Nope.
Resolution 1704-18009. Office closure, job description and staffing update, summer student outside, rec 2-day-a-week office. Council has in the past provided funding in the summer student employment under provincial federal grants, whereas 2018 none of the grants provided for position similar to the one we require. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria does hereby authorize staff to hire for the months from July and August a summer student to assist with the lending hub, outside maintenance work, and with the road super. Council commit up to $4,500 to hire summer student for 4-day work week for 2018. Questions? You're saying lending up, you're talking like the kayaks?
The kayaks and fishing
All
rods
the
and.
outdoor equipment?
Yes.
Also with Canada Day and stuff like last year. It's-
Mhm.
So the 4-day work week has at 40, well, we are obligated to pay minimum wage for a student, which is over $11 an hour now. So by the time we do that and we add the payroll taxes and remittances and everything on it, $4,500 will cover 4 days a week and not more. So if we wanted to hire for a longer period of time or 5 days a week, council would have to increase the amount.
And 4 days a week would be sufficient to get.
To meet the major challenges we had, it's usually a Monday, Friday thing for the lending hub, and then any other time.
We likely don't need a 4-day a week position. We could probably get away with 2 days a week, but again, what summer student wants to work for 2 days a week? So we thought by merging it with outside work, helping Terry doing roads things, helping set up for other events, we could easily fill for 4 days.
Okay.
Any other questions? Provided that we've got a student locally, it would be nice to give somebody summer employment. I'll take the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 1704-18-010. Declaration of vacant seat on council and filling that seat. Whereas the clerk of United Townships of Head, Clara Maria, did receive on Thursday, April the 5th, 2018, a letter of registration from Dave Foote. And whereas per Municipal Act, in order to begin the process of filing for vacancies, council must first declare the seat vacant. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria does hereby acknowledge the letter of resignation submitted to the clerk and formally declares the seat of one council member vacant. All in favor?
Yes.
Resolution 1704-18-011, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Chartrand. Declaration of vacant seat on council and filling that seat. Whereas Council United Townships of Head, Clara Maria has declared one seat on the council vacant and is required to take steps to fill that vacancy. And whereas due to the fact the registration was submitted after March 31st, an election year, only available method for filling this vacant seat is through appointment. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria does hereby direct the clerk to advertise for interest in filling the vacancy on council by appointment as per municipal policy. And further, that council shall review the letters of interest received, hear representations from candidates if desired, and make an appointment at council meeting to be held Tuesday, May the 15th, 2018. All in favor?
Yes.
Discussion?
Question?
Oh, so we had
It's
to.
not much of a question.
So I'd like to have a discussion.
Okay,
So we had two candidates still from September, when there were 4 candidates and 2 were picked.
okay.
They've been vetted. Why just not ask them if they're still interested, rather than go
Policy
through
is
the
we
process
have to
again?
advertise. Policy is we have to advertise it and go through it.
Maybe somebody else wants to step forward now, other than them. That was the past election or process. This is a new one. Maybe they're not interested. Maybe they are.
Well, maybe
If they
they're
are,
not,
they
but-
put their name in. If they're not, they don't.
So we have,
It's a pretty simple process. They just have to phone up again and put their name back in. Right now, you're saying there was 2 that would have already been vetted, but right now, there's nothing at this table saying that, yeah, either one of them still want to run, or still want to hold the position.
yeah, so it's a phone call. Are you still
Well,
interested?
That's the deal here, is that we have to do it properly after the fact of being after the March 31st, because normally it would be an election to fill that position or an appointment. Now it's appointment only. So now we're gonna advertise it. People can come forward and the appointment will come from the people that respond. It's really up to the clerk, but am I not right?
It's the same process we
That's
did before.
correct, that's the process, that's what the municipal policy that was adopted said. Yeah, basically what you just said, if they're still interested, they just put their name in again.
We can't put their name in tonight. We have no idea if they're still interested.
And by postponing it, then you're off till another.
Yeah.
We've got to get this done because we're going to have a lame duck council for a limited number of days anyway. When we cannot proceed with business because it'll be into the election, so. All in favor?
Yes.
Oh,
Recorded vote, please.
Councilor Chartrand?
Yes.
Councilor McKay?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Councilor Villeneuve?
no.
Everybody's got their document for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just a report for the request for information. In camera session, none? Questions and answers? Can we, as a community and as a small community, get a little card together or something and send it to Humboldt? I think that would be a nice gesture
That's a good idea.
on behalf of us. I didn't go anywhere, but I still wear my hockey jersey,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
Resolution 1704, 18012. Be it resolved, the bylaw 2018-09, being a bylaw to confirm proceeding of the Council of the United Townships of Head, Clara Maria, and its meeting held Tuesday, April 17th, 2018, been read a first time, short, and passed. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Moved by Councilor McKay, seconded by Councilor Chartrand. adjournment. 1704-18-013. Be it resolved that this meeting adjourned at 2010 hours. To meet again on Tuesday, May the 15th, 2018 at 1900 hours. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you very much.